If your homemade burgers turn out gray, dry, tough, have a bounce back, then it's not really your fault. It's the way that you've been taught to make burgers. And I'm gonna show you what to do to get the perfect, juicy, light texture in a burger. Mistake number one is that you're overworking the meat. The little you handle the meat, the better the texture will be. And the more you mix it, the more you work it, the tougher it becomes. See, there's fats in that meat, and just the heat from your hands as it mixes that meat melts those fats. And the more you mix it, the more it denatures the proteins that give a good burger its light, juicy texture. See, what you want to do is get the meat from the packaging, if you're getting ground beef, like a 70-30 blend or 80-20 blend, and get it from the packaging to the pan while handling it as little as you can. Hell, if your store sells you patties that are already pre-formed, unseasoned, so you can season it yourself, get that instead of ground beef, because that way all you have to do is put it in the pan after you seasoned each side. But I'll show you what to do in case you're just using the packaged ground beef. The easiest thing, have a scale ready or eyeball the amount of meat that you like per burger. I tend to like mine around the 6-ounce range. Get that meat, put it on the scale, lightly form it into a cohesive, smooth ball, and put it on some parchment. That's it. Season the top, and it goes in the pan. You press it down with a spatula, remove the parchment, and season the other side. That's it. No need to overwork it. No risk of a tough, chewy meatloaf style burger. Which brings us to mistake number 2, which is the seasoning. So you don't want to season it all the way through, because it just risks the overworking step and the mistake that I told you about. Plus, adding things like eggs and ketchup turns it from a burger into a meatloaf, and we're making some American cheeseburgers. See, I love making my smash burgers, and I make that quite often. You can check out my recipe if you like, but the best seasoning comes from just salt and pepper that goes right before the meat goes in the pan, and then the other side is seasoned on the pan, which ensures that the meat doesn't denature. Those protein fibers stay intact. And if you're buying some good quality meat, or if you're grinding it up yourself from a nice higher end cut to make your burgers, then you don't want to hide that beautiful flavor that you're looking for in a burger with things like ketchup and garlic powder and whatever else that's not standard, I would say, in a cheeseburger. And the third thing is the myth that you can't press down on your burger, which is false. The myth is that you're gonna press down as you put the patty or the ball in a hot pan, and all the juice will suddenly evaporate away the moment you press down on it. One, we're not making smash burgers here, and two, these are some big burgers, about 6 ounces. It's not small. So when you press down into a thickness that's about ½ an inch thick, what the pressing does, it helps it develop a crust, prevents it from turning into a dome. What really helps with that too is putting an indent right down the middle, or even a cube of ice, a small cube of ice right in the center. But pressing it down when the meat is still raw helps you develop that crust, and you won't lose any juices because we haven't created the seal yet. That seal is created after you flip it, and each side is now turning brown. And at that point, if you press it, then yes, you will lose all that juice, but not before that. You want to hear that sizzle, but at the right time. You want to hear it when you first put that portion of meat onto that sizzling hot pan. And this is how I cook it. See, I've portioned the meat, I've formed it into this light ball, working it as little as I can. On parchment paper it goes, with some salt and pepper onto that sizzling hot pan. You press that down, the parchment as a guard, peel it off, season the other side, just let that cook. You want to develop that sear, you want the Maillard reaction to take place, to develop flavor through that crust. Then after about 4 or 5 minutes, you want to flip it. And the moment you flip it, you can add in your slice of cheese and just let that start to melt. And for any reason, if the cheese is not melted enough, but the meat is cooked, you can add a tablespoon or 2 of water to the pan and cover that with a lid, a metal bowl, and let the steam melt that cheese all the way through. And I shouldn't have to say it to you, but American cheese is the best cheese to use because it melts without splitting. Now everything besides the burger and the cheese is optional. This right here is your American cheeseburger. But if you choose to use everything else that comes with the burger, which is what makes burgers so much fun, things like the bun, a potato bun, a brioche bun, whatever you like. And there's your lettuce, your onions. You can put some onions right on the pan to caramelize it slightly. Your tomatoes, condiments, work on that. For example, if you're doing some buns, perhaps make the buns first on that hot pan and then make the burger so that they can stay nice and toasty and ready to receive that burger when it's done. Put a light dressing of mayo on each of the toasted sides of the buns, and then put the burger right on top of the bottom bun. Now in case you really want to avoid the burger from releasing its juices and potentially making the bun soggy, then add the lettuce as a barrier first. But I'm gonna put the lettuce on top of the burger, and then some onions, tomatoes, ketchup and mustard, pickles if you're using that, and then of course the top bun. Serve it with some hot fries. You don't have to make a deep fry. I have some nice oven baked and air fried versions if that's what you're into. And that's a burger that's juicy in the middle, seasoned really well so that it's tender, has a nice crust, and it doesn't need a grill. Although grill really makes it that much more special. Now it is Happy 4th. And in case you're making it for this occasion, you can easily scale the recipe if you go to my site for the amount of burgers that you are making today. And if you like this video, then make sure you give it a rating, because that's how Google will know to recommend my website and the recipe page to other people just like you. The link is down below. Happy 4th, and I hope you end up making a burger that you are proud of.